Hi guys, this isn't going to be a gaming video. This is going to be a real life video because I had the opportunity to go to PAX East, which was amazing, but more importantly, the reason why I was there for one day was to volunteer with the Boston Guild of Extra Life in trying to recruit people to join Extra Life and participate and help raise money for their local hospitals. And I don't think I ever realized, because I've been a part of it for a couple years now, how few people in the community actually know what Extra Life is. So I wanted to make it a point to make a video explaining what Extra Life is. So sort of from the top down, give it to you as a breakdown so that if you don't know, you'll have a better understanding, so that when it gets closer to game day towards the beginning of November, everybody will have a better understanding of what's going on. And if you want to maybe be a participant this year, you'll know exactly what it is you're working towards, because that may have been what was keeping you from doing it. So fingers crossed. So what it is Extra Life is a fundraising drive that supports the Children's Miracle Network, which is 170 children's hospitals across the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. And if a child goes into one of those hospitals, they're getting treated regardless of if they have insurance or not. So if their parents can pay or not, they're getting the care they need. Everything from a broken bone, a serious illness, cancer treatments, anything. Regardless of what's going on, they're going to get the care that they need. This is especially important right now, guys, with what's going on with this pandemic. Really seriously. And that's where this fundraising component comes in, and that's why it's so important. What we do as gamers during Extra Life goes to local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. As me in southern New Hampshire, I'm an hour away from Boston. All my fundraising goes to Boston. And when I say all my fundraising, I mean 100% of my fundraising. They don't take anything out for legal fees, advertising, anything like that. It all goes to the hospital, 100%. So if you are signing up and you are taking donations, you can tell the people who are donating to you that you can feel okay about the money that you're giving staying in our community, because I can guarantee you that it's going to go to our local children's hospital. I work for, in my area, a local smaller medical group, and we've sent patients down to Boston Children's for the care that they need, or their parents have had them go down to Boston Children's to see specialists. And they come back and they tell you about the dedication and the level of care and the level of compassion and just the way that the doctors and nurses take their jobs so seriously and want to make sure that these children have the best possible experiences while they're in their facility. And it's really very inspiring as somebody who works as sort of a medical professional to hear, which is why personally Extra Life, especially now as an employee of a hospital network, I want to support another hospital where they are doing something so good for people within my community. I want to make sure that they know that I want them to do well, and I want to make sure that I'm supporting the patients in there. So let's just do statistics real quick. So Children's Miracle Network, $32 million patients, 10 million kids every year ends up working out to about 32 million patient visits. So that's about one kid visiting 3 times, give or take. And that's 3.4 billion with a B in charity care annually. Extra Life raised 70 million. Was that the right number? Yes. Extra Life raised $70 million since its conception for the Children's Miracle Network. So that's just a tiny fraction of what they need to address this number. So 62 children every minute enter a Children's Miracle Network hospital. That's the thing that gets me. Like, that's a kid a second, guys. Like, one Mississippi, a kid just went into a Children's Miracle Network hospital for treatment. Just, it blows my mind. I keep going back to Boston Children's, but that's the best example for me. They're currently in the process of adding a new building in their facility, in their complex. So they are likely needing additional funds to address that going up, or maybe they need additional funds in patient care because of the pandemic. That could also be something that needs additional money at the moment, because they're going to have additional kids coming in for treatment who, are kids who have asthma and can't handle getting sick as easily if they get exposed to the coronavirus, or are kids who are immunosuppressed or have other underlying conditions, stuff like that. It's worthwhile for your community to do something like this, because you're helping the littlest people, the people who can't take care of themselves, essentially. The babies, the kids who need your help, by giving back to your local children's hospital. So, how do you extra life is the next question. I'm here to tell you right now that you don't need to have a YouTube following or a Twitch partnership or a brand deal with anybody or anything. You can just game in your home the way that you always have done. You just need to let people know in your life that you have an Extra Life page and that you're gaming to make a difference in kids' lives. It's like doing a walkathon, but instead of walking, you're going to be doing games. You just, if video gaming isn't your thing, you can do board games. If, you want to play Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or another card game, that can be fine too. As long as you're doing some kind of gaming, that's fine. And it doesn't have to be the game day 24-hour marathon that you've seen some people do. Cough, cough, me last year. Cough. It's an interesting way of doing it. It's definitely a way to get eyes on you, but my God, it's a really, really hard thing to do, especially if you're doing it by yourself. If you have a team and you're all committed to being in one spot at the same time and you're all going to be going for 24 hours, I'd imagine it's easier, but all alone for 24 hours is woof. So that's why I would recommend, if you do want to Extra Life, sign up earlier and start fundraising earlier so that you can just play as you go, basically. I've already got my fundraising page live. I need to start reminding people on my streams that I'm fundraising, and I will actually put my fundraising link down in my description of this video so that if you're interested and you want to donate, you can. But you can do it now. There's no need to wait until November. Like, there's nothing saying that you have to do it on game day or have to wait until November to sign up. Sign-ups are live now. You can sign up now. You can start fundraising now, if that's convenient for you. If that's something that you have the time and the mental space for, great. Please do. So then what's the last question? I've said, what is Extra Life? What does Extra Life do? So maybe, why should you Extra Life? Well, again, it's helping your local community. You have a good reason to play video games because you're fundraising with them. And honestly, it really helps you feel good. I will tell you this story real quick from PAX East. This was my favorite exchange of Sunday, so I will tell you this story. Dad walked up to our booth, curious about what it is that we were doing, and I started to explain, and he told me about how his daughter had been a patient at Boston Children's and how he'd met these people coming in from all over the United States while she'd been there. She was just there for surgery, but they'd had people flying in from, I think he mentioned Kansas was one family that he was talking to while she was in for surgery. And they'd flown in from Kansas to get treatment options because they wanted their kid to be seen at Boston Children's because of the reputation that Boston Children's has. And I was like, oh, it's so cool. I didn't expect to meet a Boston Children's patient while I'm standing here saying, like, yeah, we're the Boston Guild. Everybody here fundraises for Boston Children's. So it's really cool to meet somebody who's an alumni, basically. And she's cosplaying as Princess Peach. And I did a fake curtsy to her. And I said, and I hope you're having a great day, Your Majesty. She just gives me the biggest hug and says, thank you. I'm just like, don't start crying at PAX. Don't start crying at PAX. Oh, it was so good. And then come to find out her dad's an electrical engineer who is working on the new building that Boston Children's is putting up. And it's like, it's all coming together. Just wild sometimes how life works out. So, but yeah, why should you Extra Life? Because you get to have that feeling. You get to know that you're helping out kids like her. And maybe those kids are little tiny gamers who want nothing more than just to have a little bit of fun, and go back to their normal life and not be in the hospital. And the fundraising you give helps their families to get them there and get them that treatment so they can go home and they can go back to that life of being a kid and go back to their friends and their school and their game and their routine and their life. My last question is, what are you waiting for? We'd be happy to have you. So, like I said, links for sign up are going to be down in the description. If you're still hesitant, if you'd like to support me instead, you can click on my fundraising link. All of my other social media links, as always, are down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope this answers any questions. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments. Have a good day, Internet. I'll see you soon.